Woodbridge Channel 8, keeping you informed on events in your community.
But we'll give you an update on the public hearing that we have. But everything else is fairly innocuous.
Is your mic on?
It is.
Doesn't sound very.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very loud though. Now it does. Mr. Dahl will give you a preamble to our public hearing on the service plan.
That's our first item under public hearings and ordinances. It says resolution approving a service plan for the Ward TOD metropolitan districts. That's a special statutory proceeding. We don't often have those in front of the council. As council's aware, it involves the former Jolly Rancher property, now owned by the IBC venture that came in, got an approval up to a year ago, I think it was, or better. Challenged that. Didn't actually, it was a denial, and challenged that, and the city was upheld. But now they have come back and they'll be bringing a development proposal through the process, but in association with that, they want to do a metropolitan district to provide for funding. The last time the city approved a metropolitan district was the metro district for the Clear Creek Crossing Cabela's project, that Longs Peak Metropolitan District. It's really a financing tool the developers use. One of the attorneys at my firm, Charlie Kiekenmeister, he's the Kiekenmeister, Murray Dahl, Kiekenmeister, and Renault. That's why we just stop with the first two names, usually, when we answer the phone. Because with 13 letters, that's half of the alphabet. We think that's too many. Anyhow, he's our special district expert. He has been advising the city in the meetings we've had with the district proponents here, the IBC people, and he'll be here for that hearing, and we'll give the staff report. And if you have any questions about how the Metropolitan District Service Plan and associated special district issues are, and questions about that, he can answer those, and that's why he's here tonight. So I urge you to torture him a little bit and learn what you can. So that's all I've got. Thanks.
Any other questions on the service plan public hearing?
Is it pretty typical to do these without a fee? That was just one question that I ran across.
We don't have an established fee. We did not charge or impose a fee on the Long Peaks Metropolitan District, so we didn't for this one. Goes off again. Any other choice? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I am curious what happened to the Longs Peak districts since the development didn't go through. What happened to that, and is that something we should think about in regard to this one?
It's still in place. There's still a board. They still meet on a regular basis per statute. I haven't been at it. We used to go to their meetings on a regular basis. It's still made up of the current property owners, which is Cabela's and Coors. Cabela's has 3 seats and Coors has 2 seats on that district. They still have a purpose according to state statute and their service plan. Maybe Dahl can respond to that a little bit, but do you have any?
Sure. Unless and until there's an actual development there, and let's remember that these districts are primarily to finance public improvements, the roads, the streets, the lighting, water, sewer, all the infrastructure that's going to serve a private development, where developers don't have the cash to put up for that, they often will form a metro district. So that district right now, unless and until there's a development that needs to build things, and therefore the district is needed to issue some debt to be able to generate the cash to build bonds to build those facilities, the district really just sort of is on sleep mode, if you will. And I expect that when, as and if that property is conveyed to another owner, there's another development that's teed up and that's ready to go, that owner will evaluate whether and to what extent the owner needs this particular district to be a financing entity for that new owner's development. And until then, there's no real need to dissolve the district. It doesn't do any harm sitting there, but it's a fair question.
Mr. Dahl, I had one other question for you. On attachment number 1, which is the actual resolution.
Okay, hang on.
And I apologize in advance for bringing this up.
I get to that. Okay.
In the middle of the page, just on the 1, 2, 3, the end of the fourth whereas, you talk about a special district within a radius of 3 miles of the proposed special district's boundaries that have levied an ad valorem tax within the next preceding tax year?
Yes.
What is the next preceding tax year? Or is that the last preceding tax year?
Well, that's a good question, and we're going to ask Charlie that question.
Okay.
Thank you. I think it means the previous tax year, but why do you need the word next is probably your question. And it's mine, too.
Do we get to guess?
We can make Charlie tell us, and if he's guessing, then we're in real trouble. But he'll know. I think.
Can you have
honestly,
next
I think
to the
it's
last preceding text?
I think it's surplusage. I think people are just going overboard with the language there. I think it could be preceding tax year and it'd be perfectly fine. We'll ask him.
So that's the public hearing we have, and then we have four items under decisions, resolutions, motions. The first item is our annual replacement of. There you go. Woo. Annual. Replacements of computers.
Back away from
Desktop
the
computers.
Wait, turn down a little bit.
Maybe Item 2, still a little loud. I think it's that one. Item 2.
Item 2. That's not bad.
That's better. There you go.
That's why we keep him around.
Yeah. Volume control. Item 2 is our annual replacement of desktop computers. We replace our computers on a 5-year cycle. We do 60 about every year. A little less than 60 every year. A few more this year. Item 3 is our annual police radio system contract. That's with West Metro Fire Protection District. Item 4 is, this is just a cleanup, another recommendation from our auditors. This is based on a Governmental Accounting Standard Board's recommendation for appropriate accounting methods. We have to do a cleanup to the 2011 budget to appropriately reflect how revenues were received by the city. We received some unanticipated revenues, and our auditors would just like to make sure that's a council-approved item. So that's just a formality. And item 5 is the proposed change to the council rules of order on study sessions. That's it. And we would like to speak to you briefly about our upcoming biannual citizen survey. We used to do this on a more regular basis. The last one was cut out of the budget. So our last survey was done in 2008. And we typically ask council for direction on some general policy questions. We usually have anywhere between 3 to 5 larger policy questions on the survey, in addition to all the normal questions that we keep on an annual or on each survey, so that we can track those over years and compare them to other cities across the country. So Heather, I believe, is ready to speak to you about some recommended policy questions that we have selected.
Thank you, Patrick. If you turn to page 4, and I did hand out a revised draft citizen survey based on a couple changes that staff just made today. Our policy questions that we're recommending essentially start on page 4 with questions 22, 23. Both of these questions are asking citizens related to height and density, asking about height and density topics, and then questions 24, 25, 26 are more related to sustainability and gauging the level of support for different types of external from the city as an organization, what type of external sustainability efforts could be made. 27 and 28, questions 27, 28 on page 5 deal with the multifamily housing rental inspection program. And then you'll see questions 29, 30, 31 deal with questions related to unfunded infrastructure projects, and using the survey as an opportunity to gauge what respondents would be willing to support in terms of an alternative revenue source. And so that's just a general introduction to the policy questions that you see. We're happy to answer questions about any specifics you have. Again, we're looking for consensus on including these policy questions with the survey.
I guess I move that there be a consensus that this be the questionnaire.
We have a consensus to move forward with this survey. Does anybody have any problems with that moving forward? Looks like you're ready to go.
Great.
Thanks.
Good job.
That's all we have?